I just realized I've been muted this entire time. And I was going into like a massive explanation as to everything that was going on. Smooch, pappy smooch. But welcome one and all to the Thermal 2-2 circuit. Oh my god, there's a lot going on. My apologies, I was muted coming into this. God, there's so much to explain now. But welcome to the Thermal 2-2 circuit. We are here, we are back, we are jumping into our first series of the broadcast here. Again, do apologize, we have not been covering much 2v2 as of late. We were kind of going into this earlier, of course. We haven't really been covering much 2v2 just because we've been so busy with Rongi Cup, with Thunderfire, with Little League Cup, with all these other big major tournaments. So other events have fallen by the wayside, other kind of offshoot events, I should say, like 2v2s, StarCraft Evolution, the patches tournaments, for example, have fallen by the wayside, but finally we can start to focus and catch back up on some of these other aspects of StarCraft. One of the other amazing things, of course, is that 2v2 has had a massive upswing over the past year of play, thankfully, thanks to players like uThermal, for example. uThermal has been dedicating a lot of time and effort into his 2v2 circuit, and now we're jumping into our first matchup, of course. I feel like we don't really have much time to delve into the history of the players as I was doing earlier, just because the game is now getting underway. For now, we're going to be opening up. It is going to be a heavy Ling aggression here out of herO. He is claiming his third expansion, building up on 2 bases. Likewise, uThermal also getting to his own standard opener as well. Scouting, harassing with his Reaper. Behind this is going to be a Stargate opener out of Trigger, opening up Oracle to scout and to harass across the map. Let's go. Let us go. Now, very quickly, I was also explaining as to why herO is actually playing with uThermal. So Trigger and Clem, they are some of the best 2v2 players in the world. They're some of the best players in the world. They do compete very often with each other. They're very well experienced. Here comes a Ling aggression from herO, and we'll see if we can find some economic damage. The Oracle does race back in to defend. The Slide Cone does zone the Oracle away. Ooh, but the battery is within range. There's the NG overcharge. Marines, they do help support as well, and Lings are deflected. Nice moves here from both Trigger and Clem to be able to zone away. The Adept does get surrounded. No! Does get surrounded. Oracles, they dive on the Cyclone. They get one, and they're going for the other. And we do trade 2 for 1. Yeah, 2 Cyclones, 1 Oracle. Better trade here for Trigger. Nice defense out of our blue team. Nice defense. But what we're getting at here is that when it comes to the 2v2 circuits, once you make it into the playoffs, the reason why it is imperative here to actually compete and to gain practice with other teammates is due to the fact that you actually play with a different partner in every round. So once you make it into the playoffs, once you make it into the group stage, you are forced to play with the other players as teammates in said group stage. So in every round, in the round robin group stage, you have to play one series with herO, 1 series with Clem, 1 series with MaxPax, 1 series with Showtime, 1 series with uThermal, 1 series with Lambo, and so on and so forth. So it forces you to actually be well versed in not just your preferred 2-2 pairing, but with other matchups as well, like mirror matchups and such. So if you're uThermal, you have to be good at playing with a Zerg partner, a Protoss partner, a Terran partner, and even different players as well with different play styles. So it's a really unique format, and that is one of the reasons why, well, that is the reason why uThermal has been having a different teammate on a regular basis. So 1 week he plays with herO, another week with, say, Clem, another week with Goblin, another week with Lambo, for example. Has been shifting up his teammates, shifting up his partners to gain experience with them. Otherwise, we're going to be calming down. We're going to be settling in. We're going to be settling on in. Likewise, it's been great to see kind of a rise in popularity of, say, Korean competitors and Korean players as well as of late, when it comes to seeing Korean players actually take this a little bit more seriously. Last year, we had a handful of Korean players taking part, but coming into 2026, again, Korean representation or Korean participation has been insane. Seeing players like Maru, herO, Shin, Solar, Byeon, Cure, SOS, Rogue on a much more regular basis competing in 2v2. Like, they have kind of adopted and accepted it much more than previously. As a result, just because of the sheer amount of matches we've been getting, the 2v2 meta has been shifting and evolving quite quickly over the past year, to the point where, like, I'm out of the loop at the moment when it comes to what is expected when it comes to some of these pairings. For now, we do have Mass Phoenix at the Trigger, so it's going Oracle opener into Mass Phoenix. Meanwhile, we do have Clem building up his own biotank army. We do have instead our red team being more aggressive, so herO and uThermal, they do move out. They do look to push. And we'll see if they can break through. So far, there's not much Protoss support, actually. Only 2 Oracles. Wow, it's a 2v1. 2v1, we dive on the Marines. Mass Phoenix coming in, but Phoenixes, what can they do here? What can they lift? 1 Marine at a time? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Phoenixes, they struggle to support. They do struggle. CC is denied. So far, uThermal and herO, they do break through. They trade very nicely against all these Lings. So, against all these Marines. They trade well, they trade nicely, they deny one of the expansions. And again, as you mentioned, this is where Phoenixes struggle. Phoenixes, they're ideal when it comes to harassing and ideal when it comes to picking up high-tech units. But against a swarm style of mass Marine Ling, what do? Lift up 1 Marine at a time. You're doing nothing to the army at that point. As Trigger and Clem, they're being overwhelmed. Tank getting within range of the expansion. You can see here, which is on hold position, waiting for any kind of engage, waiting for the move out. Do wait for the move out. Oof. Cannon goes down. And it looks like Clem and Trigger, they will force us back. They're just not enough reinforcements, not enough Marines, not enough anti-air. And the Phoenixes, they will punish. Yeah, they punish the army. Catching up the tank. Lings forced to engage. Decent surround. These are 1-1 Lings. Okay, not bad. Yo, who needs Banelings? Yeah, decent surround here by herO. Behind this, switching up into Infestors. Microbial Shroud is on the way. And you can see that they are not backing off. uThermal still rallying across the map as well. They know how close they are to breaking their opponents. And again, once again, it's basically a 1v2 here. Phoenixes, they are supporting in their own way, and they do lift up a tank at least. But again, minimal support from Trigger, but that will soon change as time goes on. Skytoss. Carriers are on the way. Mothership is on the way. Skytoss is a transitional choice here from Trigger. He is transitioning. And this herO and uThermal, they do back off. They pull away again, likewise building up their forces, ready for another dive. And can they break the blue team before Skytoss? That's the real question. Can they break through? Nice fungal. Oh my god. Yeah, massive fungal with the army. Fungal lands, no splits, no reaction, no control against it. Fungal on some of the metamax. Just catching a couple of free units here and there. The main army does crumble. Now we can just keep pushing. We can head into the expansion. Now we have 1 carrier, but it's only a single carrier. That is not good enough. And Marines, they can hold their own. They trade. They focus on the Phoenixes, one after the other. 2 Phoenixes left. Down to 2. I love how this entire game, herO literally has been making pure Ling. And I guess a couple of Infestors as well, but it's been pure Ling Infestor. But again, this is a reaction to the Skytoss. As we mentioned before, like Trigger, he's had very limited support for the army due to his playstyle here, due to his composition. As time goes on, he's building up more carriers. Meanwhile, Spire is on the way. Infestor's going to be waddling in. Pushing into tank range. Not quite. Toss in the fungal. Ooh, slows down on the Infestors. Lings, they do pull off this around. Just barely. They try to at least. Clem does hold his own. Here come the lifts, getting on top of the tanks. Nice fungal. Yeah, fungal lands. No more bio, no more Marines, at least for Clem. And there just are not enough interceptors here. Actually, I say that. We're running out of Marines. Okay. Slowly running out of Marines. Microbial Shroud could have been good here, actually. To support the bio army. As it was research, at the same time, Lings are for the counterattack. They catch more CVs. Crippling the economy. And ultra production has begun. No corruptors yet, by the way. No many corruptors. That's a little bit concerning. Again, the carrier count, we're going from 1 to 2, 3, now 4 carriers. We have 2 more on the way. This carrier count is getting a little bit out of hand here. And the question becomes, what is the answer to the Skytoss right now? We have Infestors, we have Microbial Shroud, we have a Marine count that is true. No corruptors yet. Again, the anti-air is very limited so far for the red team. And that's just becoming a little bit concerning here. I'm getting concerned. I still do favor uThermal and herO to end the game before this really gets out of hand. but it's getting a bit out of hand. We got 3 more carriers on the horizon. How many do we have? 5. It's gonna be 8. It's gonna be 8 carriers. It's gonna be a lot of sky toss. Do we have neural? No. Okay, no neural. Carriers are moving in. Carriers are moving in. Yeah, slows on the main army. Again, nothing here from herO shoots up. Oh, yeah, there's the micro bull shot. And again, it's just uThermal versus the mass carrier, baby. Oh no, the lift! The investors, they can't support. Yeah, they cannot support. Marines are trying to hold their own, but there aren't that many Marines left over. It's close. We're running out of interceptors. And Trigger, can he 1v2? At the same time, we're jumping across the map. The Ultras, they just rush past. They do deal economic damage. Bases are going down. Yeah, so he just ignores the army. He just ignores the army. Ultras, they're wreaking havoc. Knocking down bases. uThermal's keeping up with Clem, at least trying to. More expansions going down. Ultras are distracting. And this is buying time for what? For Corruptors. Okay, Corruptor production has begun. Ultras are trying to get into the mineral line, but the site defense does buy a lot of time. That buys a lot of time. Ultras have to get the hell out of there. Again, these are fully upgraded Ultras with 3-3. They've got their upgrades. And now, how many carriers? 10. Oh, yo, we got 10 carriers. Now, if we had some Archons and High Templar and Storm, I mean, that would be perfect. Instead of that, we do have what? Liberators and Marines. We have some bio support. Bearing in mind that Clem's economy has been stifled. So he's running out of money. He's running out of money in the main, running out of money in the natural. Clem, he's under 1 base economy. So Clem, he cannot support too much. Clem is broke. Oof. You can remember, it's mainly Trigger here. We have some Liberator supports. How many Corruptors do we have? 14. Nice slow zone. Trigger's moving in. And can Trigger do it? Solito, papi, solito. The Marines, they stand forward. A nice fungal. Corruptors are coming in. Yeah, Corruptors are moving forward. A Viper as well, going for the power bomb. Oh, diving in the center. Killing all the interceptors, not bad. Yeah, the power bomb does a lot of damage, but there are just so many carriers here. Wow, the Viper goes down. The Corruptors are going down as well. And Trigger, solito, by himself. He's doing it. He's breaking through the main army. He's killing herO and uThermal on his own. Again, I was worried about the Skytoss transition. I was worried about the carriers we're amassing. I was concerned. And I will say that uThermal and herO did an amazing job when it came to dealing economic damage and stifling their opponents. And again, it was close. They almost killed Trigger. Back when Trigger only had Phoenixes, he almost died. They almost died as a team. But Trigger, he slowly built up that carrier count, and there was never an answer. There was never an answer to the Skytoss. Trigger, he snowballed out of control. He's got his Void Rays in the mix as well. Wow. Who needs a teammate? Who needs Clem? Who needs... Again, he's been helping, right? Clem, he's got a couple of Liberators. You know, he's doing his part. Clem, he's helping out. Ooh, there's a recall. Okay, we're running out of interceptors. Does recall back home. Does pull away. We still got 9 carriers left over. You can see here that we're just fully out of interceptors. So Trigger, he needs a little bit of time to rebuild. Now, this can be an issue here where Trigger needs an economy. Is he running out of money? Do we end up in a situation where Trigger cannot make any more interceptors? Like, the economy has been a big issue here for the blue team. You can see here Trigger long distance mining. Meanwhile, we have more expansions here for the red team, for uThermal and for herO. They have more bases, but they're about to go down. Ah, we're getting messy. We're getting scrappy. We're getting scrappy, but as Trigger's pushing forward, denies the expansion. At the same time, nice catch here, crippling the economy. uThermal coming in. Yeah, uThermal, he comes in, he does mining. At the same time, Trigger pushes forward. He's moving in, back. He's moving in. Ooh. Yeah, cashing out Cyril's workers. Jesus. So many workers do go down. uThermal likewise going for the backstab, but both players are hurting economically. uThermal has a mining base though. He has an economy. uThermal has mining. But unironically, like, this is a smudge game. Like, this is like, if Trigger and Clem win this, like, this is a very smudge game. Oh no. Feels bad, man. Like, uThermal and CranKy, they were being so active at the start. So active, so aggressive. They were killing mineral lands, killing bases, catching out the bio army. They were doing their best to kill, but again, they failed to kill. They failed to do critical damage. Okay, this round. We're setting up this round. Fungals coming in. We have some power bombs as well. There's the initial... Oh, not quite. Never mind. Viper goes down. Viper goes down. No spells. There's a microbial shroud on the bio on the Marines. Nice fungal. Locks down the army. Can he go in? He sims. He sims. He gets one. One carrier goes down. He gets two. Yeah, 2 carriers and a void ray. The Marines are trading well. 3 carriers. 3 carriers. Oh my god. The rest they do recall back home. And uThermal, man with gun. Can he do it? How many Marines do we have? 35. Okay, 35 Marines against 5 carriers. What's important though, the economy. Okay, so when it comes to CranKy, he has nothing here at the natural, nothing in the main. He has 1 base. He has half a base. So CranKy has half a base economy. Meanwhile, uThermal, likewise, he is down to 1 base economy with mules, and he's floating. So uThermal, he's the richest player here. He's the richest player here in the game. uThermal, he's got the minerals, he's got the money. He has the army as a result. And uThermal, can he do it? Can he pull this off? Can uThermal 1v2? He wants the expansion. Ooh, catching out Clem. Clem is on his own. Ooh, Clem taking a rough fight. Trigger does come in, one after the other. Nice slow zone here on the Marines. And nice slow zone. Once again, they're running out of interceptors. The Marines are doing it. uThermal, he saves in. He saves in. He gets 1, 2, 3. Takes out every single carrier. GG gets called. And CranKy and uThermal take game number 1. Whew. Hi. GG. GG. Well played. As CranKy and uThermal, they do win game number 1. A very intense back and forth, by the way. Very intense. Initially, again, CranKy and uThermal, their goal was to try to punish Trigger for going into a Skytoss opener by opening up Phoenixes. The Phoenix opener did struggle against the Mass Ling Marine, and again, they were trading poorly. Like Trigger and Clem, they were trading poorly, but Trigger, he was building up into Skytoss, and he just needed Clem to be the punching bag, to be the meat shield for Trigger, to build up into that mass Skytoss army. And Trigger was bullying, by the way. He was bullying uThermal and CranKy. Like, once he got up to 10 carriers, it was insane. He was just forcing his way across the map and knocking down base after base. But what was important, and as we tried to point out there, the economy. Yes, Trigger's army was doing well for himself, but due to how the carrier works, of course, interceptors, they cost money, they cost minerals, they cost resources. Once they go down, they have to be rebuilt, and both Trigger and Clem were running out of resources. They had a very limited economy, very low base count due to the earlier aggression. It was so crucial as well that CranKy and uThermal continued with that aggression, right? They continued with the drop play, with the Ling counterattacks as well, and making sure the economy never really got them running for both Trigger and Clem. And GG. GG, well played. In the end, it was that lack of economy that was hurting them. 2 things: lack of economy for Trigger and Clem, but likewise also uThermal having those 2 bases up and running, right? He had 2 expansions up and running on the top right hand corner. Maintaining those bases did allow uThermal to build up his own force, of course, to allow for all that aggression as well. GG. Whew, that was wild. GG, well played with that. We're getting into game number 2. Meanwhile, a big shout out to chileno, papi. Chileno Singaporean. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. Subscribing for 51 months. Crazy support, papi, crazy. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2. Número 2. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Reclamation, we have the orange Terran player, we have the red Protoss, we have Clem and Trigger. And spawning in the top left hand corner here, we have their opponents. We have the blue team, we have the blue Zerg, we have the teal Terran It is uThermal and herO. Let's go. Let us go. Is he muted? Ah, no. Yeah, so my microphone was muted because if you recall, the last broadcast that we had was the GSLCK. So my mic was muted as we were rebroadcasting the VOD of GSLCK yesterday. So I do apologize, but hopefully it should be smooth sailings from here on forward. Smooth sailings. Pero gracias, chileno, gracias. Let's go. As for now, we're going to be building up. It is going to be the initial... Oh, okay. So it's going to be a hatch gas pool opener here by herO. Likewise, double gas opener out of uThermal, going double gas into a faster factory into a more tech-heavy start. Meanwhile, across the map, we have Clem being more economic, going for a Rax expand. Likewise, Trigger going for his own gate expand before Cybercore as well. So economic openers out of the red team, out of Clem and Trigger. Meanwhile, we do have a more tech-heavy start from uThermal at least. Totally isn't an issue that we have switched colors. It's God damn it. The red team is now blue, the blue team is now red. Beautiful, beautiful. So what we want, papi. The inconsistency. Let's go. SMH my head. Now, technically, uThermal may go for a one-base all-in here. Welcome to Reclamation. Reclamation is one of the few maps that does have a split main. It's very common in 2v2 to have a shared main expansion with your partner to help defend against early game aggression. Here, the players are split, so you can actually target players easier here. You can try to fixate and focus on either Clem or Trigger a little bit more to try to punish their economy and slow them down early on. Meanwhile, uThermal does take a lot of hits, does barely get away. Once again, Stargate opener out of Trigger. So we're assuming the same thing. Stargate, Oracle into Phoenixes, into Skytoss. I mean, it was close. It was a close game, Pat. Stargate opener out of... As Reaper breaks in, Reaper does scout the Stargates. uThermal is aware. And behind this uThermal, he did actually go for that faster factory into Tech Lab into Cyclone production. So uThermal's going into early Cyclones, Clem going to Bio. Ooh, with a very fast third CC, hyper greed out of Clem, going 3 CC, 3 racks, okay. So very greedy build, very, very greedy here. We'll see if he gets away with it, so we'll see if he's able... I mean, this is designed to have a boosted economy in the mid game. So he's going for a boosted economy. Meanwhile, that is going to be a Twilight Council follow-up. Okay, so Stargate Oracle into not Phoenix, into Twilight Council, into a ground-based composition. Trigger is mixing it up. He does shift gears. Here we go. Likewise, so is Clem. Sorry, herO. They have yet to scout and confirm, but we are going for a safety Roach Warren. This will allow for Roach production as herO, which we did not see at all last game. Oracle is revealed. Nice overload scout out of herO, coming in from behind, and should get a full scout of the production. Ooh, does see one gas. Okay, okay. Does see minimal gases. That would be indicative of either a 3 CC 2-on-1 or a 3 racks, I would imagine. So from here, our red team is slowly building up. I mean, all teams are. We still have some Phoenix production, but again, Blink is on the way. As we mentioned, Trigger, he's going for that ground switch. We have Blink on the way. We have +1 on the way as well. We're going for a more Blink Stalker heavy composition. It looks like once again our blue team wants to be the aggressors. So herO and uThermal, they want to move out. We have the early Roach Warren. Roach production has begun. And herO will see if he stops or if he keeps making more roaches. He's up to 3 base saturation. Roaches are amassing. Eyes are on herO. Go. As again, we're taking a much more tame approach. So just take his gases. Again, just full 3-base saturation. 4th base now on the way. And it looks like we are still not taking up. We do have an Eva chamber for +1. And we're expecting an eventual move out. Likewise, uThermal also building his own bio tank. Again, much more passive this time. We spoke earlier that the 3CC3 racks build is designed to like hit that timing here in the mid game. Now we have full saturation for our Terran player, and we should see both Clem and Trigger soon moving out. So we're just waiting for said medevacs. Medevacs are coming. Medevacs have arrived. Blink is now done. Now we can be active. Okay, Clem is pushing. So is Trigger. Can we catch other Ravagers? Oh, he wants them. Sims in. He gets 1, 2, 3. 3 Ravagers go down. Massive pickups. Tanks are laid to siege. Lifts up 1. And the army does not commit in. Oh, yeah. A little bit of miscommunication there with Trigger and Clem. It looks like Trigger wanted to dive and Clem didn't. That's why Trigger committed into the lift. That's the death of 1 Phoenix. There was some brutal tank shots going off as well. So a bit of miscommunication there, and now herO and uThermal, they're moving in. Yeah, they're moving in, knocking down those rocks. A very heavy tank composition for uThermal. Remember, Clem has a bunch of bio, has a bunch of marines. Meanwhile, uThermal has a higher tank count instead. Yeah, much higher tank count. Ravagers, they try to get within range of the tank. Ooh. Couple of bots to connect. Tanks are siege on the high ground. Oof. And they're just forcing the way in. Yeah, we're just committing. At this point, we're just committing in. Fires on the tank. Goes down once again. So no tanks here for Clem. They're just being bullied back. No. Yeah, so uThermal, they're just snowballing out of control. They're just breaking on through. In the end, the greedier style here for Clem just wasn't quite worth it. Likewise, Trigger going for this gateway heavy composition that he just cannot engage. There are just so many tanks. Too many. Too many tanks, Bappy. Trigger, he cannot move in. He's trying. He's trying to flank. Roach is a reposition. I do like this rotation from herO. He's dealt with Clem. Now he's dealing with Trigger. He's running back the Stalkers. Knocking down walls. I do like this move of Clem. Does go for the counterattack. Catching reinforcements. Goes to the backstab. Does delay those reinforcements. But the main armies can still not be dealt with. There's just too much here. There's too much, Bappy. Oh my god. The bios connect. Crazy bios on the bio. Tanks are exposed. Oh, the tank's going to be going down. That's massive. 4 tanks go down. Yeah, uThermal, he was out of position. He reacted a little bit too strong to the drop. A little bit too strong here to this backstab. So uThermal gets caught out. Clem and Trigger, they're holding. They're holding on. Likewise, Clem dropping into the main. Does bust in. herO trying to hold his own against 2 armies. Nice miles. Very nice. Catching the Phoenix. Over he defends. He defends, bearing in mind that again, herO, he has a purely Roach army. It's very supply inefficient. Trying to hold on. Buying time for uThermal. People arrives. And they should be able to overwhelm. Yeah, it brings a Sibon in. We can just give chase. Keep going, Pappy. There's no Storm. There's no Colossus. Nothing to worry about. Did I speak too soon? Do we have Storm? No. Yeah, no Storm. Once again, Clem being annoying. Comes in from behind, going for another backstab. Distracting herO. herO, he commits. They just keep going. Do we? He is distracted. But there we go. Now pushes forward. And Trigger and Clem, they just can't hold on. They just don't have the numbers here. They cannot survive. Not against the wave of blue. The Roaches, the Marines. He busts in. Takes down the tank. Pushing off the ramp as well. The army is overstimmed here for Clem. Yeah, the army's overstimmed. At least a drop across the map is buying time, distracting so many units. Yeah, massive distraction. But here come the reinforcements. Finally. Again, both backstabs here from Clem. They've been putting in a lot of work, but it's still not enough. They've been buying time, delaying reinforcements, but the army's just still too great. And again, just the initial greed here from the red team just wasn't worth it. They got punished. They got shut down. GG gets called, and herO and uThermal, they will take the series at 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played, herO and uThermal. They will claim the series. They will advance on. Trigger and Clem are out of the tournament. A really impressive performance here, bearing in mind that I do rate Trigger and Clem very highly in 2v2. They are one of the best 2v2 teams in the world, 100%. But we had some very specialized builds. Winding it back to game one, remember, they scouted. uThermal and herO, they scouted, confirmed that Trigger was going into Mass Phoenix, into Skytoss, so that prompted hyper-aggression out of both uThermal and herO, with Mass Ling, with Mass Marine, and they were able to do some crippling damage early on. It led into a very chaotic game state and very back and forth. To be fair, it was very chaotic. Very back and forth. Game one could have gone either way, to be fair. Here in game two, we saw something more decisive here. Some heavy 3-base play. We saw that both uThermal and herO were more tech-heavy this time, embracing more gas, uThermal going for a very, very tank heavy style, and herO going for a very roach heavy style, going for a big 3-base timing. Meanwhile, we saw that Clem and Trigger were a lot more economic, a lot more greedy, a lot more economic. Trigger going for a faster TC into a very marine heavy style, meanwhile Trigger going into a more gateway heavy style instead, and they were being more passive, more defensive, trying to build up their economies, and they were punished, they were shut down by the more aggressive nature of herO and uThermal. They were aggressive in both games in different ways. Very, very different ways. GG. GG, well played. So really nice versatility, I would say, from both uThermal and herO. They claim the series, they advance on, and we'll see how they fare against their next opponents here. Oh boy, we have a rare sight. So if you know anything about MaxPax in 2v2, MaxPax alongside Spirit, they're the best 2v2 team in the world. I mentioned earlier that Clem and Trigger are up there. They are one of the best. Meanwhile, Spirits and MaxPax, they have the most 2v2 wins out of any duo out there. They've won so many tournaments, MaxPax and Spirit. But we don't have MaxPax and Spirit this week. Instead, we have MaxPax and Lambo. Usually Lambo, who does he play with? Hearthstone. Usually it's Lambo and Hearthstone, or sometimes Lambo and a laser, or Lambo and Showtime, right? Like Lambo, those are like his usual partners. It's mainly like Hearthstone or Showtime. Like those are the two. Basically, whenever Hearthstone isn't available, Showtime is like the replacement man. Like if you've noticed, Showtime, he's the replacement man for everyone. Like if anyone's missing a player, like Showtime shows up and he plays with them. And that's usually Showtime's role. But here we don't have Hearthstone, we don't have Showtime, we have MaxPax. This is the first time that Lambo and MaxPax are playing together, and we'll see how well they mesh together. We'll see how well they play together here, how they strategize, how they approach things. Let's go. Once again, sorry, on the other side of things, MaxPax, he mainly plays with Spirit. Spirit, he is his go-to partner. Of course, they're both ex-Psystorm boys, or Spirit used to be on Psystorm, and I'm sure they formed a good friendship there. They're good friends, they're good partners, they're the best 2v2 duo in the world. That's usually who MaxPax is paired with. Outside of Spirit, I'm trying to think who else MaxPax plays with, if it's not Spirit. I want to say there's maybe another Terran. Nah, it's usually Spirit. I mean, I guess, and Lambo this time as well. Lambo this week. I know that Spirit has been less available as of late. If you recall, during this time of this tournament, Spirit was also missing out on a lot of the Wardy TV Team League matches as well. Like, Spirit was just unavailable. Here we go. We are jumping into our fresh series. It's going to be, again, a best of 3 between herO and uThermal against Lambo and MaxPax. Let's go. Max and Spirit win the most because they team way more often than any other pair, to be fair. It depends what you mean by that, because Trigger and Clem, for example, they pair up very often. They are a very common pairing. They play together as much as Spirit and as MaxPax. I would say the same with Skilless and Laser. I would say the same with Lambo and Hearthstone. I would say the same with Goblin and uThermal, right? Like, there's a lot of pairings that have a lot of experience together with each other. I would say the same about Shameless and GG Machine as well. True, Shameless and GG Machine. So there's a lot of duos that that play as often with each other. herO and Zhuge. But specifically this week, we have kind of mixed things up, right? With both duos. We'll get there. Sporting in the bottom hand corner, we have mixed colors. In the bottom hand corner, we have our initial team. We have our German Zerg. We have our Danish Protoss. It is MaxPax and Lambo. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the Green Terran. We have the Purple Zerg. We have herO and uThermal. Go. Let us go. So I would push back against that comment in the chat because I feel like it's disingenuous. It's like implying that they play together the most, so they win everything together the most. But that's not true. Like, there are plenty of other pairings that are as common as MaxPax and Spirit that don't have as much success as MaxPax and Spirit. But here we go. Here we go. As we are going to be opening up. And again, this week we do have different pairings. Once again, I mentioned this at the start of the broadcast, but I'll say it again. There is a lot of value when it comes to mixing up your partner because of the way that the uThermal 2v2 circuit works. The circuit, once you get into the playoffs, does actually force you to play with other players, with not your regular teammate, if you will. So there's a lot of value here in practicing with other top players like herO, like Clem, like MaxPax, like Lambo, just to gain that experience and just to gain that kind of, yeah, that experience with a different kind of player, with a different race partner, and with the player itself. There's a lot of value. For now though, we do welcome to Undercurrent. Undercurrent does have a public expansion. uThermal does go for the initial faster CC. Does claim that natural. Shout out to the Leviathan creatures. Likewise, Hatch Gas Pool here from herO. Meanwhile, across the map, standard openers all around. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of MaxPax. We did see Trigger earlier go Oracle into Mass Phoenix. We'll see if MaxPax also embraces Phoenix production. Likewise, we'll see how Lambo pairs with MaxPax as well. As Lambo claiming a faster third. Likewise, so is herO. Interesting that herO is actually boxing uThermal in a little bit. Where herO, he's claiming the third base here on the left hand side. I feel like usually you expand off to the side to spread creep in a different direction to allow for uThermal to expand at a more natural third location. But this third base from herO is definitely different. It's a little bit more unusual here. It's gonna force uThermal's third base to be a lot more distant, a lot more isolated. Will it matter? We'll see. We shall see. Meanwhile, MaxPax opening up Stargate into a Twilight Council. Okay, so no commitment into Skytoss, no commitment into Phoenixes. It is going to be a ground switch out of MaxPax. Go as things they collapse in, catching out one, catching out just the one adept. They catch out the one. Likewise, poking in, just trying to get vision. We're still just building up here. Blink is going to be the tech of choice for MaxPax. Likewise, Roach Warren out of Lambo. So we're just taking up, saturating our bases, poking in and here and there, whatever we can. Ooh, does scan and does not get the Oracle. It just barely gets out. 2 HP. MaxPax pulls away. Escapes with the Oracle. Behind this, we have Mech. Oh, second factory, third factory on the way. We have Battle Mech out of uThermal. Okay, that I was not quite expecting. Let's go. Mech for the first time this broadcast. Meanwhile, Lambo got a safety Roach Warren, but looks like the plan here is to go into Spire Plate, to go into Mutas. Bold move out of Lambo, hiding his tech. Does hide his tech. Bearing in mind it will take some time for the battle mech to really build up. It's going to take some time here. The goal is to defend, to survive long enough to build up into mass muta. And we'll see if our duo can pull it off. I was going to say their colors, but it's there's no color theme here. God damn it. Likewise, herO, he has been a little bit greedy here, just fully establishing himself on his 3 bases, taking all of his gases, building a bit of Roach Ravager. Infestation bit has been thrown down as well for Hive Tech or for safety infestors. A much more standard composition out of herO. And the Spire is done. The Spire is finishing, and I believe unscouted. Yeah, checking the vision here. No vision, no scouting on the Spire. uThermal and herO, they have no idea. Now, the Cyclones will help, but they're going to be out on the map. Ooh, nice catch on the Hellions, though. Yeah, MaxPax rolling out. Catching a 1, 2, 3 Hellions. Oof. As we'll clean up every single Hellion here. We're moving out. Here come the mutas. Oh, does scan. Okay, big scan. Big moment here for uThermal. Does scan. Does no. Behind this, more Cyclones are on the way. We should be seeing some spellcaster supportive units here from herO. And we'll see. MaxPax moving in. We'll apply some pressure. Tank is revealed. It does go for the tank though. Yeah, bold move. Catching at the tank, trading back, pulling back to the stasis trap. Oh no, he doesn't see. Oh my god, he does. Be careful, baby. Be careful. Same time, mutas, they're looking for a way in. The mutas are out. Of course, they know they were scouted. Turrets are being thrown down. So the tank does replace the first. And MaxPax so far distracting. At the same time, here come the mass mutas. How many mutas do we have? 13. Yeah, 13 mutalisks. Oof. Stasis doesn't quite connect. Lings are at least distracting Lambo. Lambo is distracted. Again, I still can't tell if they notice the stasis trap. Okay. Does notice, because like we haven't seen herO bait them out, but does bait out one. Mutas, they collapse in. There are only a handful of Cyclones. Can he bring them all down? Getting 1, 2, 3 Cyclones. There's still 3 left. Roaches are on their own. Mutas, they kite back. And it looks like they can overwhelm. They don't quite catch the Cyclones though. They pull back to the Spore. Still better trades against the Roaches. But uThermal and herO, they're barely holding on here. They hold on to the expansion. They're trying to at least. Oh god. And mutas backstab. Cyclones are limited here by the terrain. Diving on the Vipers. Decent power bomb, and it looks like we will reset the muta counts. Oh, we tried to at least. Nice splits. And it does peel away. There are how many? There are 15 mutas left. Now, what's important here is that Lambo's been trading. Lambo, ideally, when it comes to mass muta, you snowball out of control. You build up like a death pool of a muta army, getting up to 25 plus mutas. That hasn't happened. Like, Lambo's been trading. Lambo, he's been trading, and he has barely failed to reset the Cyclone count. He hasn't broken the army, hasn't broken the anti-air. These mutas have not gotten out of hand, and they're going to be faring quite poorly when it comes to a head-on fight. Mutas, they're built to harass. They're built to harass. They have a little more strength when it comes to the surprise factor. And that factor isn't really here. So I'm more and more concerned for Lambo and MaxPax. herO, he's massing up his army. He's almost maxed. uThermal, he's still a ways away. He was trading out a lot of Cyclones, and likewise, he was losing a lot of SCVs as well. So uThermal is taking a lot of hits. He's taking a lot of hits, and uThermal is still trying to build back up. I mentioned earlier that due to the expansion pattern here, uThermal's third is just so delayed. It's so vulnerable as well. Oof. Yeah, as Roaches, they get called out. There's a lot of Roaches going down for herO. Lambo, he rotates out to low ground. He wants that CC. Oh, Does split. Oh my god. It does try to split. The command center getting quite low. It does barely get the planetary. And again, uThermal's broke. uThermal, he's still only on 2 bases. He needs a third. I still think it was a bit of a mistake for herO to take both expansions here and to not expand on the right hand side. Like usually the Zerg player will take this expansion as their natural and then this base is their third, right? Just to allow for a more secure third for the Terran. But that didn't happen here. And uThermal was struggling. He straight up is struggling. Mutas, they hit the main. Vipers, they will help defend. Oh, do we split? Ooh, does try to. Very messy. Yeah, a little bit messy there. So switching to Roach Hydra. Hydras, they caught on their own. They're exposed. Oh no! Get out of here. Yeah, Hydras are getting caught out. Expensive losses here for herO. As Hydras are falling. uThermal, he's out of position. Now racing back over. He's trying to race back over. And again, due to all this aggression, MaxPax and Lambo, they have no issue when it comes to their economy. They're taking every base on the map. Every expansion now under control here of Lambo and MaxPax. They're trading well enough to maintain map control, to have that boosted economy, and to max out. Yeah, they're maxing out here. Meanwhile, herO and uThermal, they're just trapped back at home. They're stuck. They can afford to trade inefficiently. 11 MaxPax, that is. Trying to be cheeky with Dark Templar. I mean, he does get in, true. And some cheeky harass. Doesn't achieve too much here. I spoke too soon. Trading against the Hydras. Stalkers, they dive in, they take down the expansion. Another hatchery goes down. Again, they just cannot expand. And it took a while, but finally we have 32 meters. 32 mutalisks. Oh my god, mass power bombs. Jeez. Okay, does split in time. MaxPax is on his own. He's got to be careful. Bearing in mind that MaxPax, he has no splash damage. There's no Storm, no Colossus, and here we're just all in. At this point, uThermal and herO, they're just all in. It's all or nothing. They're pushing across the map. Stalkers, they try to engage. Peeking for Cyclone. Getting 1, 2 Cyclones, a handful of Hydras. Mutas, they catch reinforcements. Ooh, catching a Viper. Again, nice moves here by Lambo. Just going for the backstab. MaxPax just buying time. Again, these bases don't matter. Like MaxPax and Lambo, they're losing 1, 2, 3 expansions. This does not matter. They can afford to lose them. They're just slowly picking away at the army here. The army that is not getting any bigger. Catching out some more Hydras. 3 Hydras going down. uThermal's coming. He's on his way over. Bearing in mind, this is a purely anti-air composition here. Mass Cyclone Hydra, so the Mutas have to be very careful. But now we have Ling Bane. Oh my god. That's a lot of Ling Bane. Does split in the end. Okay, these Hydras are so fragile. herO, he's got to be careful here. I mean, things are looking very bleak, of course, for uThermal and herO. They have been for almost the entire game. Nova's going to be going up. We have splash damage. Oh no! And here comes the Ling Bane coming in from behind. And there's nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. Kiting into creep. Coming from behind. Get a full surround. GG gets called. And both Lambo and MaxPax, they will claim game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. They will claim the first game here. Again, winding it back, it was a very difficult game state for both uThermal and herO. They had a very, very hard time building up their economies even. herO was fine getting up to 3 bases, of course. He was able to build up his 3 base economy and build up his roaches, but uThermal was struggling, especially playing mech, right? Mech is a very expensive army. He needs gas, he needs minerals, he needs resources. That is why, even though he was building up his cyclone count took a really long time to get going, just because he was trading and he was stuck on a 2 base economy. He was stuck on 2 bases. He needed a 3rd expansion. He tried to take that center base, but he fought hard for it and did not get it up and running. Didn't get it up and running. It was knocked down and denied time and time again. uThermal, he never really got into the game. Towards the end, they were fully all in. As we mentioned, MaxPax and Lambo, they could just take it slow. Just take it slow, take it easy, throw away some bases here and there, that's fine. Just chip away at the army and eventually overwhelm. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into Reclamation. This time, we have matching colors. Let's go, back. Let's go. We have our colors. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Reclamation, we have our red Zerg player, we have our orange Protoss, we have Lambo and MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue team, we have the teal Zerg player, we have the blue Terran, we have uThermal and herO. Let's go. Let us go. Have our opposing pairings here. We have Team Red versus Team Blue, and we'll see how uThermal and herO will adjust their approach, because they were the punching bags last game. To be honest, they were just stuck at home the entire game. They barely had any kind of momentum, any kind of harassment, any kind of presence on the map until the very end of the game. But by then it was too late. They were just stuck at home. We'll see if they can do a little bit better when it comes to fighting for map control. We shall see. So far, we are going to be settling in. Oh, speaking of map control, 2x. 2x opening here by uThermal. Oh boy, so 2x Reaper here from our Terran player. Oh, we could go into a 3rd Rax. We could just double down and go 3x Reaper instead. MaxPax comes in with the Probe Scouts, and he will confirm 1 Rax and 1 gas. It looks like an economic opener. Yeah, this looks like a CC. Looks like a Rax expand. Hidden Rax though here from uThermal. So far so good. Does keep it hidden. MaxPax is patrolling to block a base that is not coming. Meanwhile, hatch a gas pool out of herO. Okay. So here we go. So from here, Lambo is going to be claiming his 3rd. Likewise, Twilight Council out of MaxPax. This time, straight Twilight Council, no Stargate. Going for earlier Blink. Much earlier Blink. Meanwhile, additional Reapers are on the way. MaxPax and Lambo, they confirm with the Overlord. They know. As Mass Reaper is coming. And we'll see what kind of damage we can get done here. So far, nothing major. Bearing in mind that behind this, herO's just droning. So he's just droning, saturating, claiming a 3rd base. Just building on up. uThermal did sacrifice his economy to do this. And so far has not been worth it. Yeah, threatens the mineral line. Not much else though. Yeah, no kill. Wow. No kills. Oof. So this is brutal. So because of the initial opener here, again, uThermal, he has a weaker economy. He does have a bit of a stronger follow-up because of the initial 2 Raxes. He does have an early stim timing, so early stim is available. But these Reapers have not been worth it. Not yet. But thankfully, they're still alive. They're still alive. They can still gain value. Picks off a Zergling. We have Ling reinforcements coming in. Can he get a Queen? Oh. Does come in for the surround, and he wants them. Yeah, he does want those queens. No transfuse. He's gonna get 2. Yeah, 1, 2 queens go down. Boys are being pulled as well. Nice damage, nice value. Gets us around on the Stalker. Stalker does slip away. And so far, decent trades here from the blue team. Catching out 2 queens. Yeah, 2 queens and 1 drone. And a handful of Zerglings. But they're going to be chased down. Yeah, they're going to be chased down. Lings are coming for the surround. They will lock down all 3 Reapers. Oh, my apologies. They locked down 2. 1 Reaper does slip away. And behind this, we have Roach production. Oh. Hello. Blink is finishing. Wow, how many gateways? 3. So 3 gate blink, 3 gate blink out of our Protoss player. Did I say 3? 4 gateways, never mind. Hyper aggression to MaxPax. MaxPax going 4 gate blink Stalker. Meanwhile, Lambo, he is not droning. Lambo, he's making Overlords, making Roaches. Lambo's going for an all-in as well. So both players going for 2 base all-ins. And herO and uThermal, are they aware as to what's going on? We just see Pure Link production. Yeah, Pure Links here from herO. Marines are amassing. Stim will be a factor, true. Stim is going to be done in time. herO, he will supply blocked. That does delay his Roach production. It's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be close here. As again, we are committing. My guys, Roaches are amassing for herO as well. I was like, yo, where are the Roaches? There they are. I was like, Lambo, what's going on? But here we go. Roaches are rallying across the map. So far, nice blink control. MaxPax does blink away. There's still a lot of Marines, though. That's a lot of Sim Marines. One of the Ravagers is going to get caught out. Nice snipe. Ravager goes down. Roaches are trickling in from the right-hand side. And it looks like uThermal's holding. Yeah, uThermal and herO, they are holding on. Again, it felt like a very mismanaged attack here. Very mismanaged assault. The Roaches were late. They were coming in from multiple different angles. A little bit more stifled. They're still all in, by the way. Like, Lem is not droning, by the way. he's not droning up whatsoever. We're committing to the all-in. It's still all or nothing. But the longer this goes on, the better it is for herO and uThermal. As we're building on more tanks. Working towards more upgrades. And so far, this aggression has failed. MaxPax now expands. Lambo starts to drone. They recognize. Yeah, they recognize that they cannot end the game. Nice harass out of MaxPax. Picks off a couple of SCVs. Does pick off a couple. Likewise, very nice thing run by. Yeah, Lambo has nothing at home to defend. Drone's going to be going down. That was 5 drone kills. Not bad. 5, 6. Almost 7. Lambo's forced back home to defend. And uThermal and herO looking good here. They're looking solid. They survived the all-ins. They're now claiming their own 3rd expansions. They're breaking out into the map. Things are looking much more bleak here for Lambo specifically. Like, he's the furthest behind here due to all the harass. Has lost a bunch of workers. MaxPax still has a standing army, and MaxPax has potential to make use of this and find some economic damage. He's sharking around. Prism into the main. Oof. Does take some headshots to the face. And bleeding out a Stalker. Ling around on the left hand side, there's nothing to harass. And here comes the main push. Oof. Yeah, here comes the main army, and I don't think they can stop this. I'll be honest. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, here comes herO and uThermal. Again, they survived the early game aggression, they survived the early game all in. They snowball out of control, they push across the map. While they do connect, they graze the army, but they don't care. Yeah, they don't care, they just rush in anyway. Stimming on 4, they take the blast to the face. And with that, they take over the top of the ramp. At the same time, Lambo, he does attempt to harass. We do have a Ling run by across the map, delaying some reinforcements, but it does not matter. We're just still snowballing out of control. There's too much Terran, too much Zerg, gets into the mineral line. And again, the 2-base all-in that we saw out of our red team, it just felt very weird. It was very odd. It was very lopsided. Didn't hit as well as they were hoping for, of course. MaxPax swinging in. Okay, catching the tank. Does bring the tank down, but again, Lambo has nothing left. Lambo, he has no economy. We have 7 drones at the third, 0 or 1 drone here at the natural. It's certainly just MaxPax. He's on his own. He's all by himself back. Oof, that Stalker's getting caught out. Yeah, some rough control there from MaxPax, bleeding out, what, 4 or 5 Stalkers. And with that, again, the blue team has done it. Just securing the third base of MaxPax, forcing the fight. There is no Storm. We've got a random High Templar. We got and GG gets called. GG gets called. uThermal and herO, they will take game number 2, tying up the series. We're going to the ace match. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, we saw a bit of an awkward all-in here from Lambo and MaxPax. As we mentioned, like, it did feel like it hit very late. It also felt like it wasn't really hitting with proper unison, where we saw MaxPax move in initially. The Roaches were late. They were falling behind. We saw the Ravager get caught early on as well. Like, it was felt like mismanaged all-in there from Lambo and MaxPax. With that herO and uThermal, they were able to defend, fortify themselves, shut it down, and then snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match, the final game of this series, and we'll see who can claim it here and now. We're going to be loading into Yellow Jackets. Let's go. Let's go, Papa. Let's go. Yo, I wonder when we're getting an update to the 2v2 ladder map pool as well. Looking at you, TLMC. But here we go, spawning in the right hand corner of Yellow Jackets. We have our red team. We have the red Zerg player. We have the orange Protoss. We have MaxPax and Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have our blue team. We have the teal Zerg player. We have the blue Terran. We have uThermal and herO. Let's go. Whew, let us go. We're jumping into our ace match here. We've made it all the way to game 3. We have seen some different builds and some different styles out of our 2 players so far. We saw a more defensive kind of build here. I say but defensive build, a more defensive reaction, of course, to the all-in in that second game, with both herO and uThermal excelling. In game number 1, we did see instead a much more, still I would say, yeah, much more defensive and passive game there from both herO and uThermal, as they were building up in towards mech and building up into the mid game, but struggling to do so. Here, welcome to Yellow Jacket. We have a shared main base. We have a shared natural expansion as well. Also, I will say that the 2 sides of the map, or sorry, the 2 sides of your expansion paths are very distinctly different to each other, so we should be having an easier time for both players getting up to 3 base economy. This forward base is more exposed, that is true, so whoever takes this base will have a harder time defending. We'll see who does take that expansion, as uThermal once again going 2x Reaper. Okay, 2x Reaper at uThermal. Jeez, meanwhile 2 gate opener out of MaxPax. Huh, MaxPax does scout. Okay, does scout, does confirm the initial Reapers, does confirm the Raxes, but MaxPax is spicing things up a little bit here in the early game. Okay, let's go. Meanwhile, Hatch got spoiled the Lambo. With these 2 gateways, typically this means early Zealous and early Adept aggression. Are we 1 base all inning? We are, okay. My assumption here is just going to be 2 gates into aggression into an expand, but no, MaxPax is going for a proxy here on the other side of the map, for a proxy gateway for extra reinforcements. Likewise, Lambo, I'm sure, is going to be reinforcing as well. He's going to be working on link speed, and do you see what I see? This is normal. Gas mining at a Lambo. This is not normal whatsoever. It looks like a Bane Bust. I would assume a Bane Bust here. The other option is a Roach Rush to go for an earlier Roach Warren, but I feel like you typically just delay link speed and go into Roaches from here anyway. So I'm leaning more towards Banelings, but we'll keep an eye on Lambo. There it is, Baneling Nest. So Bane Bust from Lambo, 1 base, 3 gates all in out of MaxPax. As our 3rd gateway's on the way. CranKy does confirm that there's no expansion. That's a big tell. Big tell here that there is no Nexus. Reapers are scouting on the right-hand side. We have a third Rax on the way, so 3 Rax early stim out of uThermal. Headed for early stim. Now, what's a little bit scary here, and why a Bane Bust can work wonders in this kind of game state, is that because of uThermal's build, and of course our opponents know this, because they scouted the 2 Rax Reaper opener, this means what? No factory. And what does that mean? No Hellions. Hellions excel against Ling Bane. Hellions, they punish this so hard with their AoE, with their Hellion shots. But here, there is no Hellion or tank support. It's purely Marine and bunkers. So it's a much weaker army here from uThermal. A lot of DPS, that is true, but that's only once stim finishes. Meanwhile, we have a wall of spines. Yeah, CranKy, he's throwing down a wall of spine crawlers. He's building up his queens. Desperation defense here from CranKy. 2 bunkers going to be on the way for uThermal. Yeah, very strong reaction. At least they did confirm it was an all-in, of course. Bearing in mind that these spine crawlers are limited to be on creep here. And we'll see how the Baneling's going to be used. Oh, can he get us around? Oh no, he does. Yeah, it does get us around. Queen gets locked down. Banelings are waddling in. Oh, they try to zone away. Yeah, they zone away the Zerg. Oh no! Oh my god, massive connections. Yeah, CranKy gets called out. Only a handful of Zerglings left. Every spine crawler falls, and CranKy, he's been broken. CranKy, he has been broken. There's still a Baneling left over. And again, uThermal couldn't help. Just because of the opener here, he has what? Vanilla Marines. What can he do? Vanilla Marines, pappy. It was a really awkward position where uThermal was stuck in his bunkers. Meanwhile, CranKy was stuck on creep. Like, made for a very awkward defense here. And Lambo, he just has to hold on to those Banelings. Just hold on to them. Don't waste them. Just use them to zone. Speaking of... Jesus. You can see CranKy just can't engage. He just cannot engage. Oh! He just cannot engage. He's trying. Banelings, they just zoned him away. Stalkers break through. uThermal's being broken. And with that, they've done it. Yeah, with that, MaxPax and Lambo, they break the natural expansion now, busting into the main. Again, there's only a couple of men with gun, no bunker. 3 Marines, 2, 1, 0. 0 Marines left. GG gets called, and with that, Lambo and MaxPax will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the upper bracket finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, MaxPax and Lambo, showcasing their own array of aggression, of course. Game 2, we had a 2 base all-in. Game 1, we had a 1 base all-in. 1 base all-ins. But as a reminder, the reason why this works so well, this is a reaction to uThermal's build. This was a reaction to the 2 Rax Reaper. It works in 1v1 as well. In 1v1, it is not uncommon to react to 2 Rax Reaper with a Bane Bust, right? Bane Bust, Roach Rushes, they work wonders against 2 Rax Reaper. Here, same thing, where uThermal, he was stuck with Reaper, stuck with Mass Vanilla Marine in the early game. And again, it also was it actually was an even more brutal position just because of the way that both players work defensively, both races work defensively, with Mass Queen Spinecrawler stuck on creep, likewise with bunkers also stuck where the bunkers are located as well. So it made for a very awkward defense, as both players couldn't really help each other as much as they wanted to. They were distinctly separated due to the creep. Creep. I mean, on top of that, it isn't just that, but also just how open and accessible that natural is. Very often on some of these other 2v2 maps, there's a ramp coming into the natural. Here, there's just a massive entrance from the top side and the south side as well. So you have a lot of ground to cover. A lot of ground to cover. As the bases are much more accessible. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be following uThermal, going to be following him down to the lower brackets. Oh wait, no, I say that. We're going to be jumping into the lower bracket matches, into the lower bracket finals. For now, we're going to be Conjure Short Break. We're going to be Conjure Short Break here again. Lambo and MaxPax, they advance on into the upper bracket finals. Meanwhile, we're going to be heading on over to the lower brackets to find out who will face off against the top players in the grand finals. We'll get there. We will get there. For now, though, we're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the lower bracket finals. Lower bracket finals here of the uThermal 2v2 circuit, season 2, 2026 March edition. Here we go. We are back. We've just been following players like herO, uThermal. Last they have been knocked out of the tournament, of course. We had Lambo and MaxPax excelling and advancing further and further in the upper bracket, and now we're here in the lower bracket. We're here in the lower brackets. Here, covering the lower bracket finals, it's going to be a best of one. Bear that in mind. It is cutthroat here. It's going to be a best of one between herO and Shin up against Cure and Rogue. I mentioned this previously, of course, but this season, this year, we have had greater interest from the Korean scene covering these, or competing and taking part in the 2v2 circuit. Players like herO, Shin, Maru, Ryung, Byun, Solar, Rogue, Cure, and even many more. Creator as well, SOS, Bunny. A lot of these players have been competing in a much more regular basis. It's been great to see them taking part and embracing 2v2 even more so than years past. Again, the 2v2 scene has grown exponentially over the past year of play, and as a result of that, we have been getting more and more competitive matches, and the meta has been shifting and has been evolving as well. Oh boy, let's go. Let us jump on in. Let's jump into our best of one. Coming into this, we have our ex-CJ team against the ex-Jinair team. Oh boy. Bearing in mind that herO and Shin are good friends. They both used to be on CJ Entis. Meanwhile, Cure and Rogue are also good friends. They used to be on Jinair. Bearing in mind, they also did compete together in the WardyTV Team League as well, in said respective teams. But here we go. We are jumping on in and spawning in the top side, top left hand corner of Rust Bucket. We have our orange Zerg player. We have our red Protoss. We have Shin and herO. I believe their team is called not CJ Entis. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have no ace Jinair. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the teal Terran. It is Cure and Rogue. The reason why they're called no ace Jinair is because they don't have Maru. Maru is playing for onside, of course, so when they constructed their quote-unquote Jinair team for the WardyTV Team League, it didn't have Maru, of course. So no Maru, no ace Jinair. Smooch. Meanwhile, for CJ, they got all the ex-CJ boys, specifically herO, Bunny, and Shin. herO, Bunny, and Shin. No ace Jinair was Rogue, Cure, and Creator. There you go. There we go. Here we go. We are going to be opening up. Welcome to Rust Bucket. Rust Bucket does have, once again, some isolated main expansions. We have our own separated main bases here, but we have a shared area on the low ground. We do have a pocket expansion, so Rogue does take his pocket base as his natural. Cure will be expanding on the low ground, setting up his low ground wall off. Meanwhile, we do have, Jesus, a hatchery before gas. Hyper greed here at a Shin. Oh my god, it's a hatch gas pool. You cannot get greedier than this. Oof, this is crazy. This is brutal. So hyper greed out of Shin. If he gets away with it, he'll snowball out of control in the mid game. Meanwhile, we have a relatively standard opener here. It's going to be a Gate Cyber Expand out of herO. So herO's going for a safer opener. Shin is cutting corners. Shin is cutting all the corners here, and Cure, he does scout, does confirm. Okay. So the blue team does confirm the greed of their opponents, and we'll see if they can punish it. So behind this, we have a second Rax on the way. Ooh, looks like either a 2-on-1 or a 3 Rax build here by Cure. Interesting. Meanwhile, hatch gas pool into Evo chamber. What? I was just okay. So we have confirmation 3 Rax. Okay, so we have a 3rd Rax on the way, so it's going to be a 3 Rax stim timing, a very potent stim timing here by Cure. Meanwhile, Rogue is going for the early Evo chamber into early +1 melee, I would imagine. Early +1 melee into Mass Link Flood? Question mark? Yeah, there it is. Melee's on the way. Okay. Interesting. Interesting, Pappy. You have my attention. You have my attention. As Reaper does get called out. Reaper gets caught, the players are building up. It is going to be a Dark Shrine here from herO. Okay. So it's going to be Gate Cyber expand into Twilight Council. I assumed into Blink, but no, it's going to be into a Dark Shrine rush. So we're rushing into DTs. Meanwhile, we do see Shin is still just droning. Shin still has no tech, by the way. He has Link speed, but there's no like Baneliness or anything like that. Speaking of, we do have the early Baneliness out of Rogue, so he's going +1 melee into an S into what looks to be a Bane bust. Should be hitting alongside the sim timing here of Cure. So again, blue team should be the aggressors. They should be the aggressors here. Overlord is moving in. So far, no scout on the Dark Shrine, but that is about to change, as there's nothing to stop the scout. Yeah, the Overlord is poking forward. Oh, no! Scouts the gateway, but pulls away. There was a free scout. There was a free scout here in the main base. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Rogue, he does pull away. He does not confirm. Back at home, so far, no spores. So no spore crawlers are in position. Of course, Cure might have some scans available. That is true. Scans may be available. Hallucination does scout. Overlord's going to be zoned away. Still limited vision. Here comes the move out. As we mentioned, it's going to be a Link Bane timing with Stim. The bush gets spotted. Now, bearing in mind, Shin doesn't really have much. Shin has been so greedy this game. Shin has a Spine Crawler on the way. We're trying to fully wall off. Shin, his Baneliness is still halfway done. It's going to be a very tough hold. it's not going to be easy. Let's go. Yeah, the army is here. The All-In has arrived. Pushing on forward, stepping in. Oh, nice force field. Yeah, it does force field. Meanwhile, the wall has been broken. We just stem into the main. Banelin's issue just zone away the Lings, and with that, the Shin is being broken. Yeah, we're just breaking on through here. We have one DT to defend. Do we have a scan? Do we have a scan? Oh my god, Banelin's connecting. There's a scan. DT goes down. Rogue, he wants them. He wants the drones. He's giving chase. As Marines, they just stim in. They stim to the bases here. The DT will defend though. Hold on, no scan. Okay. Yeah, no scan available. It's going to be a very shaky defense here, but every Marine is going down. And Shin is holding. The red team, they're holding on. It's a messy defense. Yeah, it's a very messy defense here at the same time. The DT was popping off. He kills the mineral line. Oh my god, there's nothing here. Wow, no shot. They're holding and they're attacking. They defend, they attack. The Invisible Man, he's everywhere, Pappy. The Prism, or not even, he just walked in. He just walked into the bases. Likewise, DT in towards the natural. Drogue has spores in position. But Cure, he lost 28 SCVs. Cure, I meant to say, Cure, he lost 28 SCVs. His economy has been crippled. And where exactly are we? Okay, so winding it back here, herO, he also lost all his probes. So herO has 32 workers against the 15 of Cure. Meanwhile, we have 50 drones from Shin against the 37 drones of Rogue. Remember, Shin was hyper greedy. Shin saved his mineral line. Shin has a massive lead. And herO has a greater economy compared to Cure. So the red team, they survived the aggression, they survived the all-in, and now they can make use of their greater economy. Again, the DTs, they did pay for themselves. Cure is crippled. Cure, he has no further tech. He has a factory but no add-ons. He has no starport either. He has nothing going for him. Not here. He needs time. Cure and Rogue, they need time to build up. Rogue is in an okay position. Nah, he still needs to drone. He still needs to drone up. And we're getting ready to push. Yeah, herO throws down the proxy, ready to reinforce across the map, ready to move out. He's getting ready for it. At the same time, Rogue setting up a massive backstab. Nice, the G-Stake, or G-Streak even. Gracias, baby, gracias. There we go. As there is an alternate way into the bases. Lings, they rotate over towards the right hand side. They rotate over, they're gonna surround, they're gonna force a cancel. Ooh, that's a kill. Yeah, kill not a cancel. Shin does slip up. That's a nice pickup here from the blue team. Marines are moving forward. We have Banelings to support, but we have Roach Ravagers to defend. How much more robust army? Yeah, Banelings are waddling in. They're making their way into the middle one. Nice force fields. Very nice force fields. Ooh, they choke up the army. Yeah, the Marines are being forced back. Banelings are roll in. Ooh, they crash into the Ravagers. And Marines are still forward. Wow, the Roach Ravager does crumble. Yeah, no more Roach Ravager. CranKy's all in. He busts into the mineral line. Drone's going to be going down. Can they still pull this off? Can they do it? We have 14 Roaches in production, but they're too late. They're too late. The mineral line goes down. Keep stimming, Pappy. Go. There's one defensive DT. There's a skin. This time we have a skin. Yeah, Stalkers are going down. A heavy overstim here on Cure. But he breaks through. Breaks into the bases, catching under the Stalker. 1, 2 more Stalkers going down. The army does crumble eventually. And Shin is still on 2 bases. Shin, when it comes to his economy, he still has a greater economy compared to Rogue. That's crazy. So Shin still has a higher drone count. Likewise, so does herO. Wow, their economies are still strong. That's another kill. That's another kill, another cancel. Shin, we gotta lock in. We gotta stop losing that base. But again, Shin and herO, they're still looking solid. This was good damage, but not good enough. That shows how far ahead the red team was, or the red team is. Meanwhile, CranKy is still yet to saturate his bases. He's now making SCVs. Raven's on the way. There's still a lot of pressure on the blue team to find more damage. Is that the lair? that's the lair that's morphing in, by the way. Yo, 10-minute lair? Let's go. Let's go. Este rogue. And that's the issue here, is that, again, the red team is just outscaling. They're just building up a superior composition, building up splash damage, Colossus, Roach Ravager, Infestor is now on the way for Shin as well. Rogue and Cure, they're not set up for a longer game. They had to end it early. And they've done damage. True. They have done some damage. We need more, Pap. So you're here in Shin. Did you break out? Break out across the map. Pushing into the bases. Lings, they cannot engage. They do catch a couple of roaches ago. Though, okay. They're catching all the roaches. Oh, the burrow there! The spore. The spore is somewhat within range. Army does rush in. Nice disable one of the Colossus, but the Fungus are landing. Yeah, Fungus do land. We do have another disable, but the disables are running out. Colossus, they just rain down on the Zerglings. Nice force fields here on the ram. Oh my god, very nice force fields. The army just cannot engage. At the same time, Lings are counter-attacking, hoping to force the army back home. Delaying at least reinforcements. Oh, we're stuck with a move. Yo, Colossus, we've got to move in. There we go, Colossus, they push forward. The Banelings, they connect with sentries. That's a lot of Banelings. Oh my god. But this army's just so beefy. Yeah, it's so beefy, so tanky. They can tank the Banelings. It's fine. Yeah, Lings, they attempt to surround. Nice movement with the Colossus. Very nice movement. And with that, Shin and herO, they've done it. They've done it. They've broken in. They've broken through. GG gets called. And herO and Shin, they will advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. They will claim the series. They will advance on. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Very intense. Again, Rogue and Cure, they scouted the greed of herO and Shin. They scouted the greed. They tried to punish it. We saw that Cure went for a 3-axe. We saw that Rogue went for a Ling Flood Bane Bust as well. Meanwhile, Shin went for a massive worker count, a lot of hatcheries. I thought that they were maybe too greedy, but they held initially quite nicely. They held very, very nicely. They took a massive lead. They got ahead. We saw the second all-in hit, of course, which was a lot better. Did cripple the economy of Shin somewhat, but Shin still had the better tech and economy over Rogue. Despite losing 20 drones, didn't matter. He was still further ahead. He still had that lead. It was not enough damage. GG. GG, well played. Also, shout out to the MVP, shout out to the Dark Templar. I wasn't certain if the DTs would do enough damage, but they defended nicely and they attacked nicely as well. They're the reason why Kira, he was down and out for that game. He lost 20 plus workers across the map to a singular Dark Templar. It was crazy. GG, well played. With that, herO and Shin, they advanced on to the grand finals, and in said finals, we are jumping into a best of 3 between herO, Shin, Lambo, and MaxPax. We covered Lambo and MaxPax earlier. If you recall, they took down herO and uThermal to make it to advance on into the upper bracket, and they've been waiting for their opponents patiently, of course, and now we're jumping on in here. It's going to be a best of 3 grand finals here between Lambo, MaxPax. Grand finals. Lambo, MaxPax, herO, and Shin. Beautiful. Okay. Game 1 is going to be on Undercurrent. Let's go. Let us go. Usually the finals are best of 5s, but the reason why it's a best of 3 here is because of the lower brackets, as there was the additional lifeline and additional games for this tournament. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Undercurrent. We have the red team, we have the red Zerg player, we have the orange Protoss. It is Lambo and MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, we have the teal Zerg, we have Shin and herO. We have XCJ Entis up against the Lampax. The Maxbo. Let's go. Something that I wish was done was, this is not the case for this event, of course, but in previous 2v2 events, they used to like force like players to have their own like 2v2 team name. Not the case for the circuit, unfortunately. Not the case. I'm ready for the Maxbo. As for now, welcome on all to Undercurrent. Undercurrent is an interesting map, and the map pool does have a shared main and a shared low ground as well, so it's a lot more defendable on 2 bases, and there's also a pocket expansion as well. So it looks like MaxPax will claim the pocket. Looks like Lambo will expand out onto the map. So if I hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Shin, likewise gate expand out of herO, standard openers all around. Yeah, gate expand. We do see MaxPax taking the forward base this time. It looks like we're going to be saving the pocket base for a little bit later, which I think is a smart move. Saving the pocket. With this, we can start to expand out onto the map. If you recall, we were a little bit critical of uThermal and herO for their expansion pattern, with herO taking both bases here on the low ground, essentially locking uThermal in, and giving uThermal a very, very hard time when it comes to claiming a third expansion. Get a very hard time. But here, it's a lot more standard when it comes to our setup. So now MaxPax is driving Lambo via mass ping. Are you sure about that? I know that he's usually in voice calls with his teammate. I say usually, sometimes. I think he was in voice calls when it came to the 2v2 circuit. Am I crazy? I think so. There we go. Here we go. We are going to be moving out. Previous he pinged enough. I see. I know that Classic and Gabe, they do a lot of pinging, but that's because there's like a language barrier. So I know that when they play, they ping the hell out of each other. Jesus, as we are setting up for Ling Flood, okay. We have our 16 Lings on the way. We do have a safety Bane Nest here from Lambo, so he's going to have some Ling Bane available. Shin does not, so no Bane Nest here out of our teal Zerg player. Lings are amassing, but no Banelings. Meanwhile, herO throws down the proxy gateway. Does get scouted, and we're going all in. Yeah, we're going for the all in here. Thankfully, the red team is fully aware. Lambo and MaxPax say no. Catching out the first adept. Massive catch already. Ooh, they get a surround. Yeah, one adept goes down. 2, 3, 4 adept kills. Ay, ay, ay. And herO's completely shut down. herO, he will lose every single unit. Every adept does fall. The proxy gets shut down, and the all-in has failed. Shin, he's stuck with all these things. He has to do something. Has to find some damage. We saw that Lambo, yep, he does cancel. Here, he just canceled a Spine Crawler, recognizing they do not need it. A Void Ray was on the way. Now we're taking up, and alas, the blue team, they're on the back foot. They're on the back foot. Bailey's are morphing in. Shinny has to be careful. Oh no! Yeah, Shinny gets baited out. Ooh, he does get baited. Massive connections, and Shin, he'll lose everything. Every single Zergling goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Shin, he takes the Bailings to the face. Takes him to the face. Lings him with its around. Remember, there is no blink. Yep, no blink. Stalkers are falling. Lambo, he's 1v2ing. He's solito, baby, on his own. He's 1v2. Calm down, Lambo. Calm down. Ay, ay, ay. Catching out the Lings, catching out the Stalkers. Again, the drone count is still very low for Shin and herO. Very low saturation. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Lambo and MaxPax. The better it is. As the blue team is trying to force their way in. Jesus. Bailey's are in position. So far, nice control. The Oracle pops up. Yeah, GG. The Oracle pops up. GG gets called. And with that, Lambo and MaxPax, they quickly take the first game. They take a lead in the series. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. A very short game here. Again, winding it back, herO and Shin, they went for their own respective all-ins. Shin went for a Ling Flood without any bailing, just pure Ling Flood from Shin, and herO was setting up for a proxy 3-gate setup into vanilla adepts. We, of course, saw that the proxy was found and scouted and was completely shut down. Likewise, Lambo, with his own defensive bailings, was able to catch and shut down Shin's Lings, and with that, they got away with a higher economy, better tech, better saturation, and they snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. Attempted cheeky build here from the blue team, from the Korean team, from herO and Shin, but it all fell on its face. Did fall on its face here, and now we're loading into game number 2, loading into new bed of chaos. Oh boy. I'm hoping for a longer back and forth. I'm hoping we can sink our teeth into this, but we'll see. Oh boy. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of a new bed of chaos, we have our red team. We have the German Zerg player. We have the orange Protoss leading the series 1-0 in this best of 3 grand finals. It is Lambo and MaxPax. It's Maxbo. It's morning. In the top left hand corner, we have our blue team. We have the teal Protoss. We have the blue Zerg. We have Shin and herO. We have XCJ Entus. Let's go, baby, let's go. As again, we had attempted aggression, attempted all in, and it all just fell on its face. After game 1, we're expecting both Shin and herO to calm down. We're expecting them to calm down and embrace a much more standard, at least early game, to build up into the mid game. Welcome to New Bed of Chaos. We do have our shared main, we have our shared natural expansion, leading out into a more split kind of 3-base setup. But our initial 2 bases are going to be safer and secure. Again, this is one of the newer maps in the map pool. Newer maps, I believe it was added in the previous season of Ladder. There's a bunch of new maps I've never played on. Like, the 2v2 map pool was so stagnant and so stale for so many years. But again, it was last year where they got updated twice actually, which is crazy. Same with 3v3 and 4v4 maps. As a result, there's a map like this, what I'm very unfamiliar with. New Bed of Chaos. So you have shared main, shared natural. We do have a high ground 3rd location. Ooh, only on the left hand side. So we have a bit of a more secure base setup here on the left, more exposed here on the right. Okay, interesting. If we ever get to a 3 and 4 base economy. If we ever get there. Meanwhile, standard openers, nothing crazy, nothing wild yet. We'll keep an eye open for extra tech, for extra gateways, earlier gases. Eyes will be open. This time, both players are opening up Stargate. Stargate opener out of herO, Stargate opener out of MaxPax. MaxPax does scouts. Pinging, of course, letting Lambo know that it is going to be Stargate. Lambo's like, yo, these probe scouts are crazy. Like, they see everything, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Didn't even have to burn an Overlord. True. Doesn't need to burn it. Here on the flip side, also did confirm said Stargate. Did confirm. Do have our defensive Baneliness here from Lambo, just like last game. And oh, as because they scattered each other, we have MaxPax going for the Oracle. herO goes for the Phoenix. So herO going to try to hard counter the Oracle opener of MaxPax. Surprising that MaxPax still makes the Oracle despite scouting. Very risky, very bold. Very bold maneuver. Second Stargate's on the way for herO. herO going Mass Phoenix, and he's going to get scattered. Wow, he gets scattered. Lambo moves in, confirms the Phoenix, and confirms the second Stargate. So he knows Adepts do shading to the mineral line, getting one, getting two probes. So a bit of damage is dealt. We do see that MaxPax he responds with his own second Stargate. So we have Mass Phoenix versus Mass Phoenix. Ah, it's like PvP in 1v1. Let's go. So Phoenix Wars are on the horizon. When it comes to our Zerg players, how do we differ? We have +1 melee on the way. Lambo, he's building up into Ling Bane. Remember, he did throw down the Bane nest earlier, but it looks like he cancelled. I did cancel the nest. Okay. Did cancel, but still mass Ling with +1 melee. This can lead into Ling Hydra in a longer game state. Eyes are on Lambo. Meanwhile, we have a more Roach heavy composition out of Shin. So different composition for the Zerg players. We have Roach Ravager out of Shin. We have Ling, potentially Ling Hydra out of Lambo. Who do we favor? Who do we favor in this position? I mean, obviously, Lambo's army is going to be more mobile, a much more mobile composition, has potential for backstabs, counterattacks, run-bys as well. Shin's army is going to be more robust. It'll have a stronger defensive position here with reduced surface area. And you can build up your army and snowball out of control, pushing across the map. And we'll see how we open up. The other option here for Lambo, this might be instead of going Mass Ling into Hydra, because there's still no layer tech, this could be Mass Ling into Ultras. We'll see if any other gases are taken, if at all. Oh, speaking of, Hydrogen for Shin. So Shin going Roach Hydra, okay. Very old school. Building up his Roach Hydra composition. Likewise, still just Mass Ling for Lambo. Still no layer in sight. Wow, no layer, pure hatch tech. Lings are amassing. This actually is reminding me a little bit about the herO and uThermal match. Remember when Trigger went double Stargate Phoenix, he got punished by the Mass Ling Marine from uThermal and herO. It might be similar here, where they recognize that herO can't really support too much. herO's army is pure Phoenix. What's he going to do? Lift up one Zergling at a time? Like, he can't really help support his teammate too much with pure Phoenixes, depending on whether or not he wins the fight, to be fair. herO does have the Phoenix lead, quite substantially actually. herO with 12 Phoenixes. Third Stargate's on the way. Roach Hydra's building up. Still only hashtag for... I'm not convinced by what Lambo's doing, I'll be honest. Still purely hashtag. If he was feeding MaxPax, sure, but he doesn't have any gases. So it's just pure marines, sorry, pure minerals. And now we're moving in. Yeah, Roaches they get into the mineral line. The Spore does get focused down, and herO should overwhelm. Yeah, herO, he will overwhelm here. As herO does pounce on those Phoenixes, he does have the high Phoenix counts, he can chase, and he can clean up. Yeah, every Phoenix should fall. MaxPax is overwhelmed, and none of support. Meanwhile, Lambo does win the battle on the ground at least. And he's counterattacking. Okay, let's go. Oh, there are so many Hydras there. Yeah, nice positioning. Again, they put their back against the wall. They deny the attempted surround. And the reality is that Shin, he's just building up. He's able to scale up a little bit better here. The surround though. Yeah, Lings are coming for the surround. They get a decent setup here on top of the Hydras. And it looks like they will almost reset the Hydra count. It's getting close. Yeah, it's getting very, very close here. Lings are trickling in. Oh, let's go. Let's lift them up. One at a time. Let's go. And here he has to do something. He has to do something. And we're going to the ace match, I feel like. Again, Lambo, he's still trying to make Mass Ling. Shin just has to calm down. MaxPax, he bled out too many Phoenixes earlier. And MaxPax, he should never be able to recover, Phoenix-wise. The Mothership will help, true. The Mothership will help a little bit. There's potential with the Mothership timing. So the way it works here is there's going to be a window in time where MaxPax can force a fight with Cloak. And of course, there's no detection, right? Currently, at least, there's no detection for the blue team. As a result, MaxPax should get a couple of free volleys off. Oh, but he cannot fight. Yeah, he cannot fight like this. No, like this. Oh god. MaxPax bleeding out more Phoenixes. MaxPax stands weight. He's got half the Phoenix counts. Even with that Cloak timing, like, I don't see it doing too much here. It'll help, but the deficit is just too great. Yeah, Lings, they attempt to counterattack. They catch a queen, they catch a couple of reinforcements. We're just flooding. Yeah, we're just link flooding across the map at this point. Lambo's desperate for damage. I mean, these trades are nice, they're good. If only he had an economy back at home. As he busts into the mineral lines, probe's going to be going down. Roaches, they find another expansion. I mean, these links are getting a bit out of hand. They're trading quite well. They clean up the roaches, they bust into the mineral lines. Shin is racing back home. Late reaction here out of Shin. These links are getting out of hand. It's time to lift them up. One after the other, Pappy. Let's go. Ooh, time to lift all the lings. He's lifting. And again, this was nice damage, and Lambo is still rallying across the map, by the way. Throughout all this, MaxPax, he's trying to recover. He's building back up. He's supply blocked. MaxPax, he still has a low Phoenix count. The Ling harass was great and all, but still not good enough. Again, does have that Cloak timing. That's why he's stacking. Oh, that's a bit premature. That's a bit premature. Does kill one. Okay. You can see MaxPax is catching up. He is catching up. What just happened here? GG, well played. He does catch up, and with that, yeah, herO, I mean, I guess he had no economy. He didn't. He did have no economy back at home, and they just accepted defeat here. They had no detection. Ah. Yeah. Yeah, no detection, forced the fight. GG. Wow, GG, well played. I mean, they had the better army, they had the higher Phoenix counts. MaxPax did even things up, and I guess I was underestimating the lack of economy that herO had. I feel like Shin maybe could have given some resources to herO to help him out a little bit there, but he did lose all the probes. In the end, the Ling harass was worth it, I guess. Huh. GG. GG, well played. Okay, I mean, again, Shin and herO, it felt like they were doing everything correctly. They were up in Phoenixes, they were winning the Phoenix Wars, the roaches were knocking down bases, knocking down expansions as well, but herO was down to what, 30 probes? He was down to like, what, a one base economy? Very, very low economy there for herO, and he was outscaled eventually. MaxPax did catch up on Phoenixes. GG. Wow, GG, well played. With that, MaxPax and Lambo, they claimed the series. They claimed the series 2-0. They will advance on. Again, herO, his economy was crippled thanks to all those Zerglings. Shin, he failed to defend. herO failed to defend as well, and GG. Wow, GG, well played. In the end, Lambo and MaxPax do claim the series, and they will be the uThermal 2-2 Circuit March champions. Congratulations. Congratulations. I feel like we were robbed an ace match here, but again, a lot of it came down to the lack of economic defense from herO and Shin. The Mass Lings, I was not convinced, but it worked in the end, I guess. It did work. Lambo took down Shin and herO with him. Took him down with him. And of course, like I should also emphasize as well, because herO had no economy, he lost the Phoenix Wars. Straight up, he lost the Phoenix Wars. He shouldn't have. He had a Phoenix lead for the majority of that game, but he lost the lead. He lost that lead in the end. GG, well played. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the broadcast. Okay, a bit of a shorter broadcast. I'll be honest. I was unaware that the finals were a best of 3 instead of a best of 5, so I thought there were going to be some more matches here. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer, but regardless, GG. I'm content with a shorter cast here today. It's been an intense week of StarCraft. GG, well played. When it comes to the rest of the week here, tomorrow we should be live with KSL. The Korean StarCraft League should be tomorrow. We have MSO in the evening. We have TLMC, the finalist broadcast on Sunday, and we have STC on Sunday as well. I'm bearing in mind that there's a bit of an asterisk when it comes to that Team Liquid map contest broadcast. Once again, we've been waiting for the judge sheets to be made public, so we can go over all the judge feedbacks for all the new top 16 maps, but that's going to take a couple of days. It's going to take a couple of days. Originally, we were going to be casting and showcasing all the new maps today, but we don't have the sheets yet, so we're pushing it to Sunday. If we don't have it by then, we'll push it to Monday. If we don't have it by then, we'll just keep pushing it. We'll just keep pushing it back until eventually we can have that final Team Liquid map contest broadcast, going through all the top 16 maps, going through all the judge feedback notes, going through all the scorings, and going through our quick analysis of those top 16 maps as well. So if you're interested, that's potentially on Sunday, but it depends on when that becomes available. So we'll see. We shall see. It's possible that they might just wait until the Wardy tournament ends before they release that. It's possible they might wait that long. So that might be another week. If so, we'll be replacing that broadcast with like other casts instead. So with that, we're going to be wrapping up. A bit of a shorter broadcast today. We're going to be wrapping up here. Again, for me, the highlight of the broadcast was herO and uThermal versus Lambo and MaxPax. No, sorry, versus Clem and Trigger. Game 1. Like, game 1 was crazy. that was a wild game, papi. That was a highlight, at least for me. But again, we'll be back tomorrow with the Korean StarCraft League. Tomorrow evening with Masters 1 Open as well. I'll be adminning the event. Tonight, we will be having an evening off. That's intentional, of course. We could do another cast if we really wanted to, but we wanted to have at least one evening off here tonight to rest up and to decompress a little bit and to play some Final Fantasy. Let's go. If you're interested, you can follow me on my personal channel, !light in the chat. There you go. I do stream on an irregular basis. As you can see, based off of our casting schedule, I don't really have much time to stream, but there are some evenings and some afternoons where I do have some free time, like today, for example, where I do stream some Final Fantasy or some StarCraft ladder, for example. Like, I haven't laddered this season. I think the season started last week, so ideally I have some time to ladder at some point. Well, we'll get around to it. If you're interested. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care of yourselves, everyone, as we wrap up here for the day. Stick around. We'll be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. There's a bunch of people live at the moment. Who do we raid? I see all the Latino Americans, papi. Enki is live, Pacheca is live, Miguelito is live, Special Juanito is live, Huevito is live. They're all live. Cats is live as well. Oh my god. Got the full lineup. All the Latino Americans. Who else is live? Let's see. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. Eggs. I think he went offline. Yeah, I think he went offline. We raided Enki yesterday, right? Yeah, we raided Enki yesterday. We'll give some love. We raided Cats a couple of days ago. I think at the start of the week. We'll give some love to Miguelito. But plenty of streamers live at the moment. Do give them a chance. Plenty of content out there. As we'll see you next time. If you want to follow us, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. Patreon is the place to be. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis, so you can help support the StarCraft scene via Patreon. Likewise, you can also support us via following us on all the socials. We do upload to YouTube on a daily basis. Plenty of content, plenty of VODs over on YouTube. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.